really was to
that I felt like I needed, and I was comfortable in that space of just me and God.
It is offensive. Hope is desperate.
Hey, everybody. Happy Monday. Welcome to the week. This is Coach Karen Hilton, and you have landed at Jumpstart Your Vision with Coach Karen Hilton. I am so excited. Today, we have an incredible guest. She is my sister from another mister. She is a lady boss, and she is a CEO, an entrepreneur, a mama, a wife. Listen, if you need to be inspired, this is the show you are going to want to lock into. So block your calendar, do whatever you need to do. Go grab a quick coffee while I invite everybody in. We've got an incredible show for you today. And our topic is how to scale your vision, what it's going to cost you, and why you should say yes. So listen to me, for all of you out there, I don't care what it is you're trying to do, how it is you're trying to rock your vision. If you are trying to be a CEO of a billion-dollar company, if you are trying to be CEO of a small business, maybe you've got a side hustle, maybe you're trying to write a book or run a ministry, run and grow a ministry, come on in here because this is going to bless your soul. Hey, everybody. I want to say good morning to John Kovaleski. John is our executive technical producer. For those of you that didn't know, he makes all the magic happen in the background. And listen, if you've got something going on that is digital in nature and you need some help with that, John is a guy to call. He's absolutely amazing. He's my twin, and one of these days we'll explain that. But in the meantime, he's here with us. So good morning, John. Good to see you in here. And then we've got Tiandra. Tiandra is one of my boos. She's one of my adopted kids. Now she's grown. She's got a career, and she's got an incredible vision. But she is one of my babies because anybody under the age of 30, that's the way I do it. That's the way it is. And then, you know, Christy Kent. Hey, Christy. Christy is one of my besties. And Christy is an incredible vision-driven leader. She has a heart for ministry. She has a heart for women, for kids. And she has a new grandbaby. We're kind of fawning over. We love her. And she's in here with us. Come on in here, Christy. Good to see you this morning. Thanks for joining us. She's actually probably at work or getting ready to go to work. So I'm pretty impressed. Anyway, I hope you guys had an incredible weekend. Listen, a couple of announcements. First of all, Coach Marguerite Presley Davis's Your Profit Playbook is open for registration. If you are an entrepreneur and you are tired of being on the hustle bus, you want to feel more confident when it comes to your finances, Your Profit Playbook is the resource for you. It was a game changer for me 5 years ago when I started working with Coach Marguerite. And anytime she does something, I sign up for everything that she has because I am infinitely smarter because of Coach Marguerite Presley Davis. This woman is a Wall Street veteran. She's a venture capitalist. Like seriously, the governor and celebrities that you and I know and see on the front of newspapers and magazines every single day have her on speed dial. And guess what? She's in this community. Do not pass up the opportunity if you have a minute to get connected with her. We will post the link in the comments a little bit later. But right now, I want to just tee up who we have today. You know, when we think about who it is we want to bring to this community to inspire and encourage and equip all of you, we go for the best of the best. These are people who pour into our community. These are people who are walking the walk. They are walking that journey and navigating that journey of rocking their own vision. We don't bring counterfeits up in here, okay? So we want the real deal. And our guest today has been a long time supporter of Rock Your Vision. When I tell you I think 2020 was the last time we had her back. She and Shaye Houston from Shaye Renee Macaron were on here. I made the mistake of having them here. And when I tell you, I had to replace my cables because they just burned it up. Okay. I mean, they just shut it down. So this time around, we are going to have them individually because individually, they both have so much to say. listen, when you watch these episodes and you share these episodes with others, take notes, right? This is the back room kind of coffee side chat. I wish I had a big sister. I wish I had somebody pouring into me and infusing into me. This is the stuff that I wished somebody had said to me when I was coming up. Okay. But today I want to introduce you to the incredible, the incomparable, the gorgeous, the boss lady of them all, Miss Shaye Cunningham. She is here with us today. She's our guest. And y'all, I want you to know she's a real deal.
Thank you so much for having me, Coach Karen. So excited to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
You're welcome. Well, we are so glad to have you in here. Shaye, you were with us back in 2020, and with Shaye Houston. Do you remember that?
Yeah, well, how can I forget? But I didn't realize it had been that long.
It's been that long. It's been that long, and we had the best time. And a lot has happened since then for us and for you. And I want to hear a little bit about all of the things you have going on. But we met. How did we meet? I'm always curious about our connection. I think it was a Kyla, wasn't it?
It was a Kyla, Coach Kyla. Yes, ma'am.
That Coach Kyla Charlemagne. Coach Kyla Charlemagne. Huh?
Her birthday, by the way. Shout out.
Shout out, birthday girl. Well, Shaye, you are a premier visual brand and style coach. And you are the style coach for that executive, that leader who is the it girl. And your kind of passion is taking the stress out of style and helping female bosses show up authentically as their best self. I'm obsessed with that. Because it we make it look easy, but the reality is it takes some intention and some hustle, right? To do all that.
Yes, it takes attention. Absolutely.
It does. It does. Now you've been in this business for over 13 years. And kind of the way that you serve is through one-on-one wardrobe, style, and image consulting services, as well as doing group training and coaching to female influencers, entrepreneurs, and career executives. That's kind of your niche. Is that right?
That is right.
Wow.
I felt like that was needed in society, and the timing was perfect when I came on the scene. Although when I first started 13, 14 years ago, as you can imagine, social media was not a thing, right?
Right.
So I was busting down the brunches and the women.
Right. Oh, I think I lost her. Uh-oh.
The conferences and things. Oh, I see you. Are you?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay.
I think we lost you there for a minute.
Okay. I was saying that I didn't have social media as a platform back then when I first started. So, people say a lot of things on social media, some of the, not so great things that it brings into our universe. But I will tell you from a business perspective, it really gave us as entrepreneurs an opportunity to reach, right? To really reach our people. And so knowing that particular group of women really needed support so that they can really, shine and show up in their businesses. It was amazing. And I took full advantage of that as social media became more prevalent.
Yeah, I absolutely love that. We're going to talk a little bit about that as we tackle this topic today about how to scale your vision, what it's going to cost you, and why you should say yes. So I love that kind of teaser of social media. But I would love to just kind of hear your journey to here. Like when I got started, I scanned the environment and I was looking at all the women that I admired. And I was like, oh my gosh, how did they do that? How did they get the courage to step out into this world? Now, when I started, a decade ago, same as you, right? Social media was relatively new. And if you go back and you look at some of my old videos, I'm on the screen and I'm like, hello, my name is Karen Hilton. And it was horrible. It was awful. It was painful. So there was this kind of growing curve that I had to navigate. And honestly, I was not sure I was like, y'all, I can't. I am not that person. But I think all of us learned coming through the pandemic, like you have to pivot, guys. You have to scale your vision. And what I really want to get into is scaling your vision and rocking your vision is not always about doing the big massive thing and becoming this, huge influencer where all you do is sit and make, videos of your, changing your baby's diaper and stepping into the shower. That is not what rocking your vision is about. So I really wanted to normalize kind of what real life rocking your vision meant. But before we get there, I'm getting ahead of myself. Shaye, tell us about your journey to where you are here. So you were somewhere else, but what was that like? People need to hear that transition story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a unique one for sure. I was like, I'm a Gen Xer, by the way. So I'm a Gen Xer, and I think most of us during that generation were taught, hey, you got to go to school, you got to go to college, get a degree, get that corporate gig, make some money, get the house, the picket fence, the whole thing, right? Like
Right.
that was the fantasy, the dream, all the things.
Yeah.
And I followed that path, right? I followed that pathway because I felt like that was the way to go. And so I did that. I started in corporate America, 9 to 5 in human resources. In fact, that's, 22 years of my life was human resources. Okay.
Yes.
And, and so loved what I did because I was serving people in their careers, helping them grow. And I did every facet of human resources, right? So I was a generalist, recruit, all the things, right? And, but once I got deeply embedded into the scenario environment, I started to see things that was not me and my spirit and my soul and how I wanted to operate. And I just found myself stressed, like heavily stressed, almost to the point. Well, I think I did have phases of depression, right? Like now looking back, I think that there were times when I really didn't feel worthy of some of the things I was experiencing in my career. And I was, very young when I started in my professional career, 21, fresh out of college. And you see this face was more baby than this, right? So it was hard gaining respect and, people to listen to me. I was an executive at 23 years old, right? And so I just found that the rat race, the red tape, the politics, all things had started crashing down on me very early in my career. And there's got to be more. There's got to be something else for me. I just don't know what it is. So I'm not going to lie and say I just made the decision because I didn't, right? My health, okay? My health said you have to change something.
Okay. So can I pause you right there?
Mm-hmm.
I know when I was coming along, I felt like I was watching kind of the traditional path,
Yeah.
at the time I didn't call it Rock Your Vision, but it was the traditional path. You had to have a 4-year degree. You had to get through school in 4 years. You had to have the right connections. You had to have, 3.85 GPA or whatever. And I'll be honest with you, that winded me because I was not that girl.
Mm-hmm.
My family wanted me to be that girl, but I was not that girl. I think everything that I've done that really meant anything, I crash landed into. Can I just be honest? Now that may change some of how y'all think about me, but I'm just gonna be honest. It was a struggle bus because I had all kinds of things going on when I went into college, but so that path didn't work out for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think when that path doesn't work out for you, you get married at, whatever, or you get the degree, or you have, 2.5 children or whatever that thing is in your head that you think you're supposed to be doing. it can wind you. Are you hearing me? It can
Yeah.
wind you. It can discourage you. It can cause you to play small. For any, maybe this didn't happen to y'all, but it happened to me where I went, oh, well, I guess this is all there is. And what I hear you saying is, Shaye, that you came to what we call in this community a point of positive disruption, where something just crash landed into you. And that pivot came because of that. Is that what I hear you saying?
Absolutely. That is absolutely what happened for me.
Yeah.
I found myself pulling up to the building where I was working at the time. And you know how you swipe your badge to get into the garage?
Yeah.
I would be in tears right there at that badge swipe, like bawling, going in. And this happened for weeks, almost a couple of months. And then I had a panic attack at my desk. And that's when I knew this is not right. I'm 20. I don't know what I was at the time, maybe 26, 27. And I'm like, I should not be having this type of life experience. And so I went to the doctor and I'm like, I don't know what's wrong with me, but I do not have over my emotions. I decided that, well, when I went to the doctor was like, hey, you have high anxiety. Like you shouldn't be experiencing this. And I can give you, right, a solution, right? And so of course, medication, that was a part of the solution. Of course, diet, exercise, seeing a therapist, all of those wonderful things as well. But I was not down for the medication part. Okay. And so I sat in the parking lot of this doctor's office and I looked at this prescription and I prayed instantaneously. And I said, God, would you have me be medicated to earn a living and work for someone else? And am I following the path that I'm supposed to be following right now? Am I honoring you? Am I honoring my purpose? What is this? What it's about, right? Like you just said, Karen, is this what life is about? And I know I heard very clearly from God in that moment that no, daughter, this is not it. That prescription is not for you. That plan is not for you. We have to figure this out. So the very next day, Karen, I put in my 2 weeks notice. I didn't know what was going to happen after that. Honestly, I did not have a C. A lot of people say, what's your plan B? I didn't have a C, D, E, F. I had a 0, but I had a G. But I knew that if I that he had for me and I did it in a way that honored him and my purpose, that I would be just fine. And so when I tell you, when I put that notice down on my manager's desk that day, it felt like a whole elephant had come off of my shoulders, even though I didn't know what my next phase was. I didn't know what my next step was. I didn't know. But that freed me psychologically, mentally, even spiritually. And I was able to open up to what could actually be for my life, for my family, which I hadn't even really started yet. I didn't even have kids yet at that point. But I knew my health was going to be a key part of trying to build and grow a family. So anyway, forward, and I decided to take a hiatus for a while and figure out my life. Okay. Figure out, what is this chick? What do I have inside me that I can leverage and that I can, have God use me as a tool to have an impact on the world. And so I read Rick Warren's Purpose Driven Life. So if anybody has ever read that or not, if you haven't read it, get it in your life. Okay.
Yeah.
And I designed and wrote my purpose statement. And when I knew what my purpose was and I had that in front of me, I literally printed it off and glued it with a glue stick on my mirror.
Not the glue stick.
With a glue stick. I didn't even care that it was jacking on my mirror.
Oh my God, I love that.
But I took a glue stick because it meant that much to me to look at it every single day when I first get up in the morning before I put makeup on. Like, good morning, gorgeous. Like, before I put my makeup on, when I'm brushing my teeth, like, what is my purpose? Why am I here? Right?
Yeah, yeah.
And so once I did that, Karen, that enabled me to understand what my gifts and talents were
Yeah.
and are that God has given me, and how I can use that to parlay into a way that I can impact the world. And so that's where the birth of my serving women, and maybe men soon, by the way, because I always get that question. But serving women in this capacity was what I knew was my purpose. And so that actually started my journey in becoming a wardrobe consultant and personal stylist.
Thank you for sharing that. Like, you said so much in that, but I want to go back to something that you've said a couple of times, because I think even for those in our community who are already, they're bosses, we've got VPs, we have CEOs in this community, we have authors, we have attorneys. Even for them, what I find and what I hear the most, like what people are DMing me about, or what I am doing private one-on-one coaching about, is purpose. And you would be surprised. And I have an executive coaching practice. That's my day job. And even working with workplace leaders, what I get the most is, I'm not really sure I have found my purpose. So can you just summarize for us, kind of encapsulate, you went through this journey of trying to find your purpose, right? You had a great job. You were in a corporate space for a long time, but somehow your purpose was, you were disconnected from your purpose. How did you hone in on your purpose? And I should say, like the context to that is, girl, when you show up in the internet sphere, you glow, like your purpose just radiates off of you.
Thank
right?
you.
You know when somebody has their purpose. How did you get to that?
Ooh. So that's a really deep question, right? Because I think that, one, I had to recognize what my gifts and talents were and understand that I was given them uniquely because of who I am and how I was designed to be. And what that really means is that I have a keen eye for fashion, style, but I also know how to work with women, helping them make mental, psychological shifts in their self-esteem and their confidence. And
Yeah.
so, but the outside of what I do is I help you with your brand, what you wear. But what I really do is I help, bolster inside of you that is waiting to come out authentically and shine brightly, that a lot of women, too many women, by the way, they hide. Okay. They put veils over who they really are and how they really are meant and built to shine. And they do it for a multitude of reasons. We've all had certain paths that we have walked that have, taught us different things, and sometimes positive things, sometimes negative things that have us down about who we are and how we show up and our ability. It caps our mindset about where we can go and where the possibilities are. And so once you can break through how you're showing up, right? Like how you're being received in the outside world, you show up in a whole different way altogether. You start to string together that you probably never thought, you can make a sentence with all of those, that type of, that zeal and purpose. But you do when you feel good about how you look and how you're representing your brilliance. See, we all have brilliance. Because we were designed to bring that brilliance to the universe. Problem for many of, because we're afraid to present ourselves and put ourselves out there, that brilliance sometimes never really fully shines.
Come on.
And so I knew that God gave me a gift and a talent to help women break through that initial veil so that they can show up in their authentic brilliance all the way up to the highest carat, right? So that's what, and once I realized that that was the gift that I was given, I started to feel like I was cheating.
Mm.
Do you feel what I'm
Oh.
saying there? Because let me be clear. When I left course, so I didn't finish my path. After I, decided to start my business, it was during the economic turndown, 2007, 2008. And so I wasn't able to maintain my lifestyle at the time doing what I'm doing today full time. So I did go back to corporate. Okay. I went back to corporate for several years. Okay.
Yeah.
Just to try to, what I was telling myself, to maintain my lifestyle, which looking back was really more of a selfish decision at the time, but it felt like it was necessary, right?
Yeah.
And so what happened was, during that time frame, you know how you put your passions and your purpose on a shelf, and year after year after year, when you become go further and until sometimes you can't even find it. You like, where did it? You know what I'm saying? That's where I was 3 years ago, Coach Karen.
I had to take my glasses off because my lashes got stuck just on that right there.
So 3 years ago, I couldn't sleep. I would wake up 2:00, 3:00, and at first I just thought I was in soft shoes. I didn't know what it was, and so, but my spirit, God was talking to me, and He was saying, "Daughter, you are in, what would I call it? It was like almost like a
Paralysis?
like a purgatory, like you're in between where you're supposed to be."
Oh, yes.
Right? Like
Yeah.
you're floating in this space where you're supposed to be right here, and you're right here, but it's right here, sis. Like, come on. And this is where the light is. This is where the bright is. This is where you are really going to have some serious impact. Why are you sleeping?
Not why are you sleeping?
Why are you sleeping on this? And so that's when I finally woke up, literally and figuratively, and I got me a business coach, and I figured out how to turn this into a full-time business. But
okay. Hold it right there.
Yes.
I just want to do a commercial break to everybody watching this live or on replay. Why are you sleeping? Why are you sleeping? Because the only people that this community attracts are people who inside of themselves know that they have something inside of them bigger than where they are. And that, friend, is scary. It's scary. So I just came to normalize, if that's you, scary is normal. It is not a reason to play small. It is not a reason to play small. This community exists to be able to support vision-driven entrepreneurs, workplace leaders, and the mission-minded to be able to navigate those scary spaces and places, right? Shaye's passion, her mission, her niche, like her focus, her obsession is helping women navigate that space of showing up boldly, right? We all have our thing. And let me just tell you, if you're watching this, my only question for you today is, why are you sleeping? Because scaling your vision is about not dropping it tomorrow. Not everybody can do what Shaye did, right? Not everybody can walk the path that I walked. But maybe that path is to something else. So when we talk about rocking our vision in this community, when Shaye is talking about, stepping out into the unknown and scaling her vision, she had to scale over a season, but she still did it. Now, Shaye, when you did that, you were leaping through fields of flowers, and you had all the support and the money and the resources that you needed, and you knew all the answers, and you had rich family members who funded your vision. And
I'm like doing like this, like, wait a minute, you saying something different to me now. No, ma'am.
Come on, I want you to set people straight, because there's this thing in their head that says, oh my gosh, Karen, I want to do what you want to do. And I'm like, are you sure?
Right. No, facts. Those are facts. So yes, let's talk about that. So once I did wake up, right, because I was asleep, I was in a deep slumber for a minute. Goodbye. Okay, I brought my baby by America 9 to 5. The fancy trips and all the things, right, come with leadership in 9 to 5 corporate settings, right? Yeah. So I have been lullabied by that situation, and so once I woke up, I'm like, "Whoo, okay, how do I make this transition?" Right? Yeah. Because I had, for anything longer than 10 to 12 months, been on my own, independent in my business, right? Mm-hmm. Where I, side hustling, right? Because I am a serial side hustler now. I always got a little something on the side, even okay. Let's be clear. Let's be clear. But this was something that I was like, I can't half do this. This has to be full throttle. But it doesn't have to be tomorrow. Okay. Oh. I need a plan.
Hey, yes.
Okay.
I love that. So for all my strategists, get in this. Okay. Come on, Shaye, bring it.
So the plan was, I am going to give myself 1 year. Okay. To build my business from the ground up. And I'm going to accelerate that through all of the avenues that I can possibly do so in that 1 year time frame. And the goal, it's only one goal, is to replace my income.
Come on.
That's it. Okay. Because I don't know about, you and the followers listening here in the community, but for me, I have to stay focused on one thing or two things at a time. Anything over that is chaos for me in my head, in my soul.
This is good, y'all.
Okay. So I had to have one goal, and that one goal was to replace my income. So once I knew I needed to do that, then I'm like, okay, sis, you've been down this road before. Economy kind of kicked you in the butt. You had to go back, and this is where you ended up 13 years later. So let's not repeat that. Okay. How do you not repeat that? And so I knew I needed to invest in an expert, a professional who could help accelerate my trajectory in my journey for this 1 year. Yeah. So I did that because I needed a blueprint. I didn't know much about social media. I didn't know how to get from where I was to my goal and accelerate it in 1 year's time. So I did that. But here's the other thing. When I met with my coach at the time, I told her, I said, listen, I don't know who you've been working with, who you've been coaching, but let me tell you about me. Okay. If you give me the blueprint and you tell me what I need to do, I am going to do it. Okay. Okay.
Okay. Pause right there, Shaye, because you're always dropping you're always dropping this fire, and I got to get in there and just kind of give you the amen and pass the offering plate. Shaye, in the past, like 20 seconds, talked about using strategy. She talked about keeping commitments to herself. She talked about a season when, she's got to go hard on it. She talked about having one goal, not 10 goals, y'all. Come on. She talked about having one goal and going hard after that one goal. So for all y'all that are out there trying to rock your vision, trying to figure it out, stop trying to figure everything out. Yes. Stop trying to do all the things. Yes. Get focused on one thing. Get focused on one thing and keep your commitments to yourself. Stop watching everybody else and listening to everybody else and sitting there scrolling social media. Oh, must be nice. Oh, she's up there again. Yes, she is.
Yeah.
Yes, she is up there one more again because she's focused on one thing.
So I will share this too, Coach.
Mm.
I want to share, and I've shared this before, but what really made it happen was what I call the 9 to 5, 5 to 9, 9 to 1. Now this is where the grind was.
Oh Lord, here we go. This is how you broke the interwebs last time.
The 9 to 5 is because I was in corporate America. I had to do that, right? And let's be clear, my 9 to 5 at that time, I did not poo-poo on my 9 to 5. I did not resent my 9 to 5. I did not go in there talking to folks crazy. I did not check out. Okay. I see my 9 to 5 as my investor. Come on, somebody. Because
wait a minute. Wait, I gotta go. You keep on. I'm gonna go find a white hanky. Come on.
Because when you think about it,
yeah, I bet.
The fact
stop it. Just stop it.
The fact that you are able to build something while you're still able to provide for your family, you know, in all aspects, right? Maintain your lifestyle, have good insurance, all the things that you come to expect with your corporate gig. You need to continue to honor that so that on the other side, you can build. Okay. So you never want to poo-poo on the 9 to 5. You don't want to check out. And I'm going to tell you on the back end why. I was so blessed by my previous employer because when I put my notice in, they had no idea. He told me, he was like, I had no idea. He was like, you are my second in command. Like, I see you as my partner in crime. Like, you helped me look good. I was like, great. I missed, right? So that's the 9 to 5. The 5 to 9 is family. One of the things that I think sometimes we do as we're trying to build and scale in our businesses is we those responsibilities, that love, that compassion, that quality time, that bonding on a shelf because we convince ourselves that we can get back to that, right? Mm-hmm. We can get back to that. Yeah, mommy is trying to build business, y'all, so y'all just have to bear, with me because I can't be present. Like I decided very early on that I was not going to do that because my family is my refuge.
Say that one more time, Shaye. We missed that. You cut out right there. Your family is your what?
Okay. My refuge.
Your refuge. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So when everything else is beating me down, in my atmosphere, I get to go back to my family and know that, I'm loved, I'm cherished, I'm appreciated. Right. So I'm not going to beat them up along this path either because I need their support. As I go on this journey. So what I mean by 5 to 9 is, yes, I still cooked every day. I still cleaned. I did the things, right? Yeah. So I committed time to that. Now, 9 to 1, I got grindy and grimy in my business. Okay. So I was social media, strategizing. I was building out the structure for my business, figuring out finances, budgeting, marketing, all of those things I was doing from 9 to 1. Now, did I get a lot of sleep? No. Okay.
Come on.
But was I getting sleep before? No. So it was a year of commitment that I had to make to myself. Okay.
Yeah.
And and you know what? You're right. Like, there's seasons in life where you just got crazy hard for the harvest on the other side.
Yes. Yes.
So I did that for a year. And I tell you, I kept showing up. I kept being consistent. I didn't let go. And I did that Monday through Friday and a lot of weekends. Okay. My 9 to 5, 5 to 9, 9 to 1. And it really, really did help me accelerate and meet my goal in a year's time.
Shaye, I love all of what you're saying right here. And I just have so much to say, but what keeps coming up for me is what about when you get discouraged? discouraged. we have every generation represented, by the way, in here, in our community. And, it sounds great and it's so inspiring, but it's tempting to believe, well, but you don't know what I'm facing. You don't know what I'm going through. Depression is the highest it's ever been in the entrepreneurial community. Oh, and by the way, in the workforce community. Oh, and by the way, in the executive leadership community. So, and one day, one of the most powerful leaders in the space is Dr. Denise Colson. She's one of the pioneers, if not the pioneer, of the STAR trauma model in therapy and counseling. But, when you're dealing with, not being well, feeling exhausted, dealing with depression, dealing with circumstances at home or whatever that is, maybe you're a caregiver like I was, it can feel like rocking your vision is just, it's never going to happen because you don't have the mental capacity. Maybe you don't have the financial resources. I talk a lot in this community about being scrappy through those seasons, right? There are times when I've been able to go hard and invest hard. There are times when I have to pull back and literally just pull things out of the expenses, right? Because I got accountabilities. Oh, and by the way, just because you're rocking your vision and working for yourself, don't get it twisted. You work for somebody else. All of us work for somebody else all the time.
Yes.
And the sooner you get a hold of that, the sooner you can breathe a little bit, right? That's big girl stuff. But anywho, talk to us for a minute about how you have navigated. Well, first of all, have you ever been discouraged? And if you have, how did you navigate that space?
Yeah. So of course I have. I've been discouraged because I just explained to you the whirlwind of acceleration and success that I was able to and blessed to experience in my first year bringing my business to social media and leveraging it that way. However, after I did that, and this is a deep topic as well, Coach Karen. Sometimes there is the fear of success. A lot of people talk about fear of failure, but sometimes there is the fear of success, or sometimes you get in the space where you have met a goal like I did, and you get kind of lackadaisical, right? You're like, oh, okay, I got this. It wasn't as bad as it was. You start getting on your chill mode, and you find out that no, ma'am, you have to stay charged, and you always have to keep pivoting and reinventing yourself to stay fresh and relevant. And so I did get discouraged. I would say probably about 6 months after, right? I left corporate. I was, I had a good, what you would call rhythm in my business, but I wasn't scaling. Like I had gotten comfortable in where I was. And so I got discouraged because I had started some programs and the programs were starting to fizzle out. Like people weren't responding to them the same way. They weren't as engaged. They weren't as active. And for me, what I noticed in my business, in I would say most industries, if you're not showing up, if you're not moving, nothing else is moving. When you're moving, when you're showing up, when people see you, then things start to move in your business and you start to gain more momentum in your business. And so I had gotten comfortable, too lax, because, and here's the other thing, corporate will kind of program you in a way to coast. Okay. And in entrepreneurship, it's a whole different ball game. Okay. And especially in those early years, you don't really have room for coasting yet. Okay. Cause you're still trying to figure this thing out. And so, I did get discouraged. I'm like, oh, did my bubble pop? Like,
wow.
Did I lose my swag somewhere? Like, how do I keep this thing going? Was that just, how they say you start, is the turtle or the hare? Am I the hare? Okay. Did I start running out the gate really fast and I've already, exhausted my reach and my appeal? And it was just that I needed to stop coasting. I needed continue to listen, to learn,
Yes.
and so what I found was get out of the sh- you're always strategizing, don't get me wrong. I needed to get out of I want to put this out and
Mhm.
get into what do my need. Okay. What do my people need? Respond to that and be swift and be able to pivot and not be married to my ideas, to have ideas married to that I'm inflexible to providing what is actually being needed out there.
Come
And
on.
so to answer your question, because that was a lot, right? That was a lot. But to answer your question, yes, discouraged. But honestly, Coach Karen, I don't give myself like that's not the live. I can't give myself an out. Why? Because the main reason I'm doing this
Come on.
is because there are women out there who need me. They're waiting on me because only excuse me, I was built.
You're okay, girl.
Impact them. I'm their person. And so
Yeah.
if I'm not showing up, then they're not going to get what they need so that they can then show up. I know that I'm that conduit. That's what God told me. So if I'm that conduit and I'm not showing up and I'm giving myself the out and I'm getting so into my own fields that I'm discouraged, then that means that there are women out there missing out on their next level because they don't have their person to help usher them so that they can show up in spaces and places where they can be empowered and impact other people.
Wow.
So for me, giving up is not an option.
Woo, did y'all hear that?
It's not even on the table.
So for a minute, let's sit right there and talk about what happens when you hit a wall and you are trying to scale. So when I talk about scaling your vision, for some of you, scaling means you're at the place where it's time to get an investor, right? You're at that place where you have more business than you know what to do with. You may be hitting a wall when it comes to resources, and you have an audience, or you have a business, or you have a storefront, or whatever, but you need investment to be able to grow and impact more people. Coach Marguerite Presley Davis is running Your Profit Playbook. Listen to me very carefully. If you are a business owner, side hustle, full time, whatever it looks like, 1 foot in corporate, 1 foot in something, I don't care, whatever version you've got, whether you are an experienced business owner or otherwise, Your Profit Playbook will change your life. It will change your life. If you feel like you don't have options when it comes to your business, and you're like, if I don't invest in the right thing, it won't be anything. Your Profit Playbook is the way. It is your path. She is absolutely no joke. And in that community, I am a founding member of her membership. I've worked with her one-on-one over the years, and I will for the rest of my life. True story. Don't tell her, but if she moves, I'm going with her. But this idea that you think that all of the limitations are, oh, well, I don't have enough money, or I don't have enough of this. No, baby, you don't have the right perspective. This is perspective season in Rock Your Vision. And the reason that I hype Marguerite so hard is because when I started working with her, I began to understand the limitations that I was looking at were my own habits, my own mindsets, my own practices, my own limiting beliefs. And most of it was tied to money. Now, maybe some of y'all are out there and you're money whizzes and you got cash rolling in all of the different ways. But when I started, y'all, I needed a game-changing, leveling up kind of experience, one-on-one. And I needed a kind of community around me that were other lady bosses who were serious about building a business. So y'all make sure, I will drop the link in the comments later today because registration is getting ready to close for your profit playbook. It was a game changer for me. It got me out of that, you know what, I'm stuck. I can't go any further. I'm discouraged. I needed somebody. And we have a very tight-knit community in Rock Your Vision where we get together in private, and sometimes we'll do it in the group where we exchange that kind of information. We share ideas. We work on marketing plans. We talk about scaling vision, meaning going bigger than where you are and getting out of kind of that I'm stuck mindset. I was talking to the incomparable Deborah Davis of Glover and Wire. Shaye Cunningham, you and Deborah need to talk. I'm just saying, y'all need to talk.
We shall.
Yeah, Deborah is an incredible vision-driven leader. She's in, I met her through Marguerite. She owns a luxury leather goods company. She is a leather artisan extraordinaire. Okay. But she's a serial entrepreneur. She was in the golf industry. She was a golf pro, taught herself golf in 3 years and like made it to the big time.
Wow.
Unbelievable. But she was sharing that she was watching, she was going through Beth Moore's study called Rescued. And Beth Moore talks about this concept of being stuck in a pit. Like you're in a pit, you're in that valley, and then you go and you get your coffee and you get a little side table and you get a couch and then you just stay there.
Yeah.
You don't have to stay there, friend. You don't have to stay there. There are so many incredible communities. If you are that leader, that workplace leader, that female influencer, and you're watching this on replay and you feel stuck, like maybe you're not showing up at your best. I've been in some of Shaye's trainings and that sort of thing. And when I tell you it's a sisterhood, like she is a coach extraordinaire. She knows visual branding. And we have several image coaches and visual brand coaches in our community. And each one of them has a very specific niche and a specific style and a specific look. And if you are like that it girl, or you want to be that, you've got that it girl look and you need help, please trust yourself and find an opportunity to work with Shaye. She takes it to the next level, but she's not talking about just switching up your closet, honey. She's not talking about switching up your closet in your house. She's talking about switching up your closet right up in here. Okay. Mm-hmm. That's what's happening right up in here. Because when you do that, the rest of it starts to flow. I'm just saying. Okay.
Just saying.
Shaye.
Yes, ma'am.
I have a couple other questions because we're getting ready to slide up out of here. Okay. But this has been too good and so good.
I've had a great time.
We have so many in here who they're hustling, they're working harder, and all that's wonderful. There is a season to hustle. You talked about that, right? Sometimes you got to go hard at it, and you know you have to go hard at it. But one of the things I talk to my leaders about, and in Marguerite's membership, we do a quarterly business meeting, and we go over like hard numbers, like it's everything, as it relates to our businesses. But one of the things that we were talking about is, and particularly at this end of the year, at this time of the year, not hustling after things that are wasting your energy. Mm-hmm. Listen to me very carefully. Mm-hmm. But the perspective that anchors that is that your vision, friend, belongs to God.
That's right.
Right. So if you're hustling in your own strength and you have no peace, I'm gonna need you to go back to your source. Because God will not drag you into something that takes you out of his presence or keeps you on the hustle bus just for the sake of it. I'm telling you. And your vision does not necessarily happen in a straight line. Your vision is not based on the number of followers you have. Listen to me. It may be that in that season, there is one, Shaye nailed it. It may be that God has one person for you to reach in a particular season. And there are other things that he needs you to be doing. It may be that you need to go back to corporate for a minute. It may be that part of your opportunity is found in that space, right? Just because you don't have $1 million in the bank does not mean you're not rocking your vision. Oh, that's good, Karen.
That part.
Oh, girl. Anyway, Shaye, can you just speak into that for that vision-driven workplace leader, maybe who is, they feel like, oh, well, rocking my vision is not for me. Or that entrepreneur who says, I'm not finishing the year where I felt like I would. Or maybe that author who's like, the words just aren't coming. I got a book contract, like they're on my heels, but I can't really get there because no matter how hard I work, it's just not coming. Can you talk to that vision-driven leader, that ministry leader who feels like they've just hit a wall and going back to their source for direction and inspiration? Can you talk to them for a minute?
Yeah, so I will tell you that there have been several times in the past 3 years since I have decided to venture into this business and this vision full time, full throttle. There were times when, and that's the thing about entrepreneurship too, when you're workplace leadership, you're used to the key of a lot of things, right?
Yeah.
And in entrepreneurship, you have to create your own structure. You have your own motivation. You are all the things, right? And so a lot of times I think because we do get into that comfort zone and what you were saying, you get into that space where you grab your cup of coffee and you just kind of like chilling in some of that unrest about whether you're doing the right thing or whether you're successful at it or what have you. And it becomes debilitating to some degree because like, what am I doing wrong? I need to go back to what feels comfortable. Right? And what I would say to combat that, because I've had to do this over and over again, is to, like you said, go back to the source and understand what your true purpose and mission is. And when you realize that it's bigger than you, then I think you tap into something that can withstand those lulls in your psychological space. Because, and I just said it. That's why I just got so emotional not too long ago, because when I think about, and I go back to my source, and I know that I'm not, because I want Shaye to be amazing, or I want By Shaye to have 1 million followers, or I want By Shaye to be on the tongue and the lips of households everywhere. That's not my vision. That's not my mission, right? My mission is to help support over 100,000 women show up bold and unapologetically confident. Okay. And so that has nothing to do with Shaye, other than that I have to power behind that to reach those women so that they can accomplish that. Right. And so when you figure out and you stay true to the fact, that's what I really mean by for the people. For the people is that it's not about me. Okay. I'm showing up because it's about the impact that I'm here to serve. And so when I know it's hard, you get discouraged, you get in your head, things fail, they don't work out the way you had planned, timing is off, all types of things. People disappoint you. Let's be real. People disappoint you, but let's be real too. Sometimes you've disappointed people. So let's keep it all the way up.
Oh, Lord. I'm sorry.
It's gonna happen. Just know what you're doing. If it's a true vision and it's from here, you know that you're on purpose. you know that your vision is connected. And so just keep moving forward. You don't always have to be sprinting.
Okay. Did
Okay?
you?
You don't always have to be sprinting. Sometimes you can take a slow stroll. All right?
Wait a minute.
I had to
I think I pulled a muscle.
Hi, Christy. Thank you. Thank you, love. Yeah, I mean, listen, we're going to have disappointment, but and here's the other thing. Whatever you're currently doing, even if you're doing a side hustle or you're building a new business from the ground up, whatever you were doing or are doing simultaneously, the same stuff is happening over there. This ain't new. Just because you're doing it for yourself does not mean that it's new. Disappointment happens in your workplace career. Disappointment happens in your other side hustles. Disappointment is going to happen. Okay. So let's get real with the situation and figure out the tools, right? And the mental mindset that we need to have in place to combat those moments when they happen. And there may be times when you say, you know what, this is not my sprint zone. This is not the sprint season. Sprint season, you got to go hard. You got to go hard when it is. That's what I would say. I'm trying to keep it, Karen. I'm sorry.
So,
but I'm not sorry. I'm sorry, but not sorry.
You sorry, no, but not sorry. Okay, so here's the thing. Here's the thing. You know how they say, you know how people say, I want to be married. I want to get married, and I just want to find the love of my life. And then you get married and you realize that getting married, God will use your marriage to teach you more about yourself.
Yes.
Than about the other person.
Come on.
Rocking your vision is really more about him developing you to be the person and the woman and the man that he wants you to be.
Yes.
So when you get to that place where it's time to scale, the reason that it's worth it, this was the kicker. The reason that it's worth it is because you will be the best version of yourself when you understand that your vision is bigger than you.
Yep.
And for believers, your vision comes from God. And when you trust him with it, even if it's hard,
yep,
even if it's rough, you will stop looking at everything and being terrified of it or being wounded by it.
Right. Wounded. That's it. That's it.
You will stop being wounded by that thing.
Yes.
And you will look at it from a lens of curiosity, not fear, not shame, not guilt, not condemnation, not judgment. And I talk to our community all the time about getting off of that cycle of woundedness. Like you feel like you can never, it's like, oh, well, here we go again. You know, my auntie had a business and it failed too. And my grandmama, you know, she behaved like that. That's just the way it is. Listen to me, beloveds. Listen to me. I brought Shaye up in here because I knew she would tell you the truth. I knew she would tell you the truth. When you get to that place that you get out of your own way and you recognize that your vision is bigger than you, you will stop looking at things from the lens of fear. That is a fixed mindset. Yep. Being a CEO, being the CEO of your vision, I don't care what you're doing. I don't care if you're a stay-at-home mom. I don't care if your vision is to go raise your babies. That is the best vision you could have ever had. You know what that's about? That's about checking yourself.
Yes.
When you get there, friend, you will walk in the door with more confidence. Shaye does a lot of work with her community, with her lady bosses on how to get it on the outside and how to get it on the inside. Shaye, tell everybody how they can get in touch with you and work with you.
Yes, it's real quick. My every handle on every social media platform is Slay by Shaye, SlayByShaye. E, and make sure to put the E on the end of Shaye. I also have a free Facebook group for lady bosses called Influence Hers, HERS, Influence Hers That Slay. So you can look me up that way as well. But you can DM me on any social media platform. And again, it's Slay by Shaye everything. Make it easy.
Oh. Girl, I could go on for another 3 hours. It's so exciting to have you in here, Shaye. Thank you for coming back, just to pour into our community and to tell us the truth. I always want to make space in here just for the truth, because guys, zhuzhing it up and like covering it up is not going to set you free. That is not the path to rocking your vision. This is the place where you can be honest and authentic and real and be safe. So I want to remind everybody that Marguerite Presley Davis's Your Profit Playbook is open for registration. Please consider, look, if you can buy that bag, if you can buy all of those things, you can invest in learning how to handle your money. Okay. If I did it coming from nothing and not having any training on business finances or whatever, you can do it. You can, that's the time to invest. This is the time to invest in that. Coming behind that is our free 7-day vision challenge. We are getting ready to open up registration for that. I am so excited. It's absolutely free. It's 7 days. And that is going to be leading into our annual vision summit. Y'all, this is going to be everything. Okay. I'm just saying, Shaye, I'm telling you, I'm so excited this year about this. I will go to my grave reminding you, all of you, you have more options than you realize, beloved. Yeah. You're not stuck, and it's not time to give up. It's time to get busy. Okay.
Can I say one last, Coach?
Yes, Shaye. Come on in here, girl.
But it was one question that always comes up in these types of interviews. And I just want to touch on it because you touched on it a little bit too. And it is, if I, knew this, right? If I knew this, or what would I want to know before I started my business? What, right? And so I want to address that because I actually was challenged and struggled with that question. And here's why. I feel that it is almost a defeated mindset to even think about that, right? And the reason being is that when I thought about that question, I thought I wouldn't take that away for anything. The lessons that I learned the hard way were some of the best lessons that I learned. So when I think about it, it's like, no, I don't wish I knew anything before I knew it, because I knew it when I needed to know it, and I needed to learn from that experience and from that ride, right? So I just wanted to share that real quick.
Thank you, girl.
But I just think that it's on my spirit that they may free somebody that's out there scared and timid and wondering if they have all the information that they need. Is this the right time? Do I need something else? Just go.
Just start. Okay? Come on.
Just start. Don't get in your head about what you don't know. You're going to figure it out, and you're going to be better for it. Sorry. Not sorry.
We're sorry, not sorry. Shaye, I don't have enough words, girl. And for all of you out there that are vision-driven leaders, your vision is bigger than you. There's something rumbling inside of you. You're not quite sure what it is. I hope that Coach Shaye and I have given you permission to just be curious about it. I hope that we have inspired you to trust yourself. If you are not surrounded by a community of support and encouragement, if you don't have sisters who are your hype girls, you found it right here. Found it right here. We're your hype girls. Go join Shaye's free community right now. Go jump in, Rock Your Vision, and our free coaching group.
Mhm.
because this is what you get a lot of. There is a zero competition model up in our world. That's like very 1970s. Okay, just for the record, we don't do that, right? But we are always hyping each other and encouraging each other. So for those of you who need the reminder, you have more options than you realize. I love you, Shaye. I do not have enough words for you, lady. So I'm going to ask you to hold on just one second. My Richardson, Royan Patrick Hendricks, who I think is a part of Shaye's community. What? Come on.
Love you.
I absolutely love it. Tamiko Pinson Jones. Yes,
That's
yes.
Love you.
Love you guys so much. Thank you for supporting Shaye and for popping in here. I hope that you will join us again on Mondays, 8:15, right here, where we will be giving you everything you need to help you rock your vision. Shaye, hold on one second. Y'all have a good day.